A shocking move from Howie Roseman is sending shockwaves through Philadelphia, my friend. The Eagles just cut a tight end they themselves brought back only a few months ago. And this move reveals something much bigger about what Howie Roseman is building at the position for 2026. The situation surrounding this player and the entire Eagles tight end room is more intense than you think. And once you understand the full scope of this transformation, you'll realize this franchise has its eyes set on something very big for the upcoming season. I'm gonna break down who got cut, why this isn't just any ordinary roster move, and what it says about the future of the Eagles offense in 2026. But first, if you're a die-hard Eagles fan, hit that like button and subscribe right now, because the news out of Philadelphia is coming fast, and I need you here so you don't miss a thing. Here's the deal. According to Jeff McLean of the Philadelphia Inquirer, the Eagles released tight end Jawheim Bell on Tuesday. Bell, who stands 6'2" and weighs 241 pounds, had been brought back by the Eagles on a reserve futures contract back in January of this year, meaning they themselves signed him in early 2026 and just a few months later, already showed him the door. That detail matters. When a franchise signs a player in January and cuts him before training camp even gets going for real, the message is crystal clear. The landscape changed dramatically, and it changed fast. But who is Jawheim Bell? Bell was selected by the New England Patriots in the 7th round of the 2024 NFL Draft. Right there, from the round alone, you know we're talking about a bet, not a sure thing. He was released by the Patriots after one season, and spent 20-25 split between the Eagles and the Pittsburgh Steelers. All told, that's 15 career games and just 2 receptions for 20 yards, 2 catches, 20 yards total. To put that in perspective, Jawheim Bell produced less across his entire NFL career than many receivers produce on a single 2-minute drive. That's not a knock on the athlete as a person. It's simply the reality of the numbers. Bell never managed to establish himself as a relevant option in any system he was part of. So why did the Eagles bring him back in January if they already knew all of this? Because at the start of the year, the tight end room was still very much up in the air. The future of Dallas Goedert wasn't guaranteed, and the Eagles needed depth while they evaluated their options. But then the 2026 NFL Draft happened, and everything changed for good. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, or better yet, the giant who just walked through the door. With the selection of Eli Starders in the 2nd round of the 2026 draft out of Vanderbilt, the Eagles sent an unmistakable message to the entire league. The tight end position is being reinvented in Philadelphia. Starders is the winner of the John Mackey Award, the trophy given to the best tight end in college football, and he arrived at the NFL scouting combine with a jaw-dropping athletic profile. He ran the 40-yard dash in 4.51 seconds. He recorded a broad jump of 11 feet 2 inches. And then came the number that left everyone speechless, a 45.5-inch vertical leap. To put that in context, that mark tied for the 3rd highest vertical jump ever recorded at the Combine since 1999. ESPN's Ben Solak summed it up perfectly when he wrote, "Oh my lord, that says it all." The pre-draft comparisons were heavy. Analysts put Starders in the same sentence as Mike Evans, DK Metcalf, and Brock Bowers. Fox Sports NFL reporter Greg Auman was direct about it. In terms of size and speed, the NFL tight end that Starders most closely resembles is Brock Bowers himself, the Las Vegas Raiders tight end who was a 1st-round pick in 2024 and has already broken records and made the Pro Bowl in each of his first 2 professional seasons. 2 years in the league, 2 Pro Bowls. That is the template Philadelphia is targeting. Now, not everyone is excited about the pick. Bleacher Report gave the Eagles a C grade for taking Starders in the 2nd round. Analyst Brent Solbesky pointed out that, for all the jaw-dropping athleticism, Starders is not an efficient blocker, and that is a real problem for someone playing inline in an NFL offense. According to the analysis, he offers very little as a blocker, and that limits how much Nick Sirianni can deploy him in certain formations. The question Eagles fans need to ask themselves is this: will the Eagles adjust their scheme to maximize what Starders does well, or will they depend on him developing quickly in an area where he clearly still has a lot of work to do? But that's only part of the story. Because while everyone is talking about Starders, there's another name that deserves attention in this equation. Daquan Wright, the undrafted free agent tight end the Eagles brought in from Ole Miss. Wright stands 6'4", weighs 246 pounds, and had a 2025 season that caught Howie Roseman's eye: 39 receptions, 635 yards, and 5 touchdowns at Ole Miss. The Eagles' coaching staff had been paying close attention to Charlie Weis Jr.'s offense last season, and what they saw in Wright was enough to pay to bring him in as an undrafted free agent. That's not a random decision. When Howie Roseman invests in a specific undrafted player, there's always a reason. And then there's still Dallas Goedert. The veteran returned to Philadelphia on a one-year, $7 million contract for 2026, coming off a historic season. In 2025, Goedert set the Eagles' franchise single-season record for tight ends with 11 touchdown receptions in a single year. 11. The highest total ever recorded by a tight end in this franchise's history. At 31 years old, Goedert knows he's probably living his final chapters in Philadelphia, and the one-year deal makes that explicit. This is an honorable farewell agreement, maximum production in exchange for one more season with the Eagle on the helmet. But a successor is already being developed right next to him. The real question becomes, how are these three tight ends going to coexist in 2026? Goedert as the starter and the leader, especially relevant because back in 2024, when he missed 7 regular season games due to injury, it was Grant Calcaterra who held things together, the veteran backup who was essential during the Eagles' Super Bowl run that season. Calcaterra is still on the team and represents the reliability and experience that any offensive system needs. Stowers will get the freedom to develop within the environment, to play in situations where his athleticism is the primary weapon, short passes with explosion potential in the middle of the field, impossible matchups for linebackers to handle. And Wright will compete for a roster spot by showing everything he did at Ole Miss. While all of this falls into place, Jawheim Bell is on the outside looking in. And the cut makes complete sense once you see the full picture. There was simply no more room for a 7th-round gamble with 2 career receptions once the franchise used a 2nd-round pick at the position and brought in a promising undrafted free agent on top of that. The roster has a logic to it, and Bell, unfortunately, no longer fit that logic. Taking a step back to think about what all of this means for Jalen Hurts. In 2026, the Eagles' quarterback is going to have one of the most intriguing tight end rooms he's ever had at his disposal. Goedert bringing experience and touchdowns, Stowers bringing a level of athleticism that can create structural problems for any defense, and Calcaterra offering proven, established trust. If Stowers can develop even a baseline level of efficiency as a blocker, and many athletes with that kind of physical profile have done so when given the right coaching, the offensive possibilities for Hurts expand in a very significant way. The NFC East is not sleeping. The Cowboys, the Giants, and the Commanders are going to look at this Eagles tight end room and know they have a difficult problem on their hands. How do you defend Goedert's experience on one side and Stowers' receiver-like speed on the other? Which linebacker or safety in the league covers that equation comfortably? The honest answer is, very few. With Bell gone, Stowers arriving, and Goedert staying for one more season, Howie Roseman is drawing up an offense that can be devastating in 2026. But there are still important unknowns. Will Stowers be able to produce from his very first season? Will Wright earn a spot on the final roster? And can Goedert maintain that incredible level of 11 touchdowns at 31 years old? With all these pieces moving at the same time at the tight end position, what do you think will define the Eagles' success in 2026? Stowers' development, Goedert's historic farewell, or something else entirely? Leave your opinion in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I'll be back later to keep you updated with the latest Eagles news.